In my last video, I discussed 10 underrated single-cour anime that you can binge in one go. However, in this video, we'll be going in the opposite direction and discussing 10 longer anime that may not have gotten the attention they deserve. I'll classify long anime in this video as shows with 50 episodes or more but can span over multiple seasons. It was a bit harder for me to compile this list as I haven't seen as many due to the commitment that longer anime have. Some notable exceptions I've been needing to watch include Major, Shaman King, Baby Steps, Dragon Quest: The Adventures of Dai, and Beelzebub. So if you have any others that are missing, please leave them in the comments so I and others can check them out. Without further ado, let's begin. A certain scientific railgun has a pretty good following within the anime community, but still doesn't home to the same depths of popularity as other shows in its genre or even within its franchise. For me, the world building in this anime is what makes the show and franchise stand out. Taking place in Academy City, which is known for its technological advancement and for occupying espers, the city is made up of mostly teenagers who are classified by power-based levels. Railgun features Mikoto, who is one of the 7 level 5s, the strongest espers in the city, and the various troubles she gets mixed up in within Academy City. As an MC, Mikoto and her gang, Ueharu, Shirai, and Saten, are very fun to follow around, and every situation she finds herself in is very fascinating. With good pacing, interesting character dynamics, and a fun action supernatural setup, A Certain Scientific Railgun is a great series to dive into even if you've never watched Index, and is honestly my preferred series, but definitely check them both out. From the creator of Fairy Tail, Hiro Mashima's space shonen never really took off to the galaxies that the series promised. It's a shame though, because the cast, world, and usage of time travel are all very fun to explore. Who knew that utilizing a bunch of alternate universes, time loops, and time-eating plot devices would help to keep Hiro Mashima's shtick of reviving characters after they've been killed off at least fresh? The second season plummeted, especially in views, at least according to Mal, which is when I believe the story really takes off with the introduction of the element 4 and when stakes start rising. It seems like the saga will continue, but I'm hoping there will at least be more traction for Shiki and the rest of the Eden's ship as the seasons go on. Chihayafuru follows our main girl Chihaya Ayase and her journey throughout the competitive game of Karuta, a game that I don't quite understand myself even after having watched it, but you swipe a bunch of cards and it's quite intense. Chihayafuru is an intense romance drama as much as it has the competitive sports-like element to it. There's a great highlight in character growth and development. Shows like March Comes In Like a Lion and Sounds of Life also feature if you're a fan of those anime. For me personally, I was very invested in the love triangle surrounding Chihaya, and all of the Karuta segments were just a cherry on top to add to my enjoyment of the show. Chihayafuru currently sits at 75 episodes, and it's unknown whether it'll receive one more season or not, but just for what was shown overall, this is definitely worth the watch. Ace of the Diamond is the pinnacle of growth for sports anime. An underdog character in an overdog school, we follow Sawamura's struggles against himself, his teammates, and other schools as he aims to become the ace of Seijun High and take on the Koshien for his school. This is a sports anime with heavy emphasis on perseverance through obstacles and growth. There's competition even within their own teammates to try to get chosen on the starting lineup, and the stakes are raised even higher because of it. Sawamura is possibly my favorite sports anime protagonist out of the many in the genre I've seen. His gradual growth really rewards the viewer for sticking around the many episodes and seeing how him and his team, his relationship with Furia, and everything else shifts and curves keeps the anime really intriguing. At first, I was really overwhelmed by the 178 episode count, but now I don't even think that that's enough and I crave so much more. One of the most inspiring watches in the medium, as the two Nanba brothers Muta and Hibito pursue their lifelong dream to go to space. The series has a lot of heart, humor, and emotional moments that'll keep you occupied throughout its 99 episodes. You're certain to be entranced into Muta's journey from a regular office employee to participating in the next astronaut selection. This is one of the most motivating pieces of fiction I've ever watched, so if you find yourself in a rut, quarter-life crisis, or not in the place that you want to be yet, I highly suggest tapping into Space Brothers and seeing if you can come out of it feeling ready to make a change for yourself. As one of the most underrated shonen anime of the current age, World Trigger sets itself apart for its really intricate world building, power plays, and tactics found in no other show. The jump in animation during the second and third season also helped to really elevate the hype. and Osamu RMC portrays a weak-powered character with a strong logical brain to help him and his team overcome many battles. World Trigger is an anime about aliens called neighbors who invade Earth, and the defense system that Japan builds to counter the neighbors called Border. As part of Border, soldiers use a power source called Trion to enhance their mobility and advance their technology to fight with. From here on, we get a lot of battles both within Border for training and invasion battles from neighbors that our main team has to face. Don't let the first season's animation scare you, as this is an anime that will entertain you through and through. Never have I been so bamboozled in an anime like I have with SKET Dance. What started off as one of the funniest comedies I have ever watched turned into a really emotional and heart-wrenching story surrounding our characters in the SKET Club. The 77-episode anime follows our trio of characters in the SKET Dan, Bassoon, Switch, and Hime, and the various antics that they get involved in. The comedy is premium tiered, so cleverly and masterfully written, and when they begin to weave in the backstories, I was so surprised at the number of times I began to tear up as a result. The comedy is very much present by the end of the series, so I wouldn't worry about a jarring shift in tone. I wish SKET Dance got a full adaptation, as the bits of the manga that were left were equally as riveting for me to read. I became a huge fan of the author Shinohara Kenta afterwards, having seen Astra Lost in Space, and now reading Witch Watch, which is one of my favorite things on Shonen Jump right now. Truly an underrated show worth the long haul. Currently clocking in at 62 episodes with a lot more story left to adapt, Idolish 7 is unlike any other idol anime out there. Don't be turned off by the mostly male cast or by how the cover art looks, because what you'll receive is one of the most dramatic commentaries on the entertainment industry that I dare say rivals Oshi no Ko. If you look at the Idolish 7 cover, I don't think you'd picture a story that involves kidnapping, estranged families, stalker fans, and large-scale scandals. The struggle to the top by our group, also named Idolish 7, to how the other idol groups play a role in the story, Trigger, Rebel, and Zool, really makes this a roller coaster worth taking the ride for. Tranquil, emotional, and heartwarming, choosing to watch Natsume's Book of Friends will leave you with a broader perspective on life and appreciating everything as it comes by, or at least that's what it did for me. As a largely episodic tale about various yokai, the show never bores due to its strong themes of longingness, life, and love in all forms. Seeing Natsume's slow change to growing strong bonds with both the yokai and other human characters when he started off uninterested in his powers is very touching to see. It's a bit of a slow burn, but the candle is so bright that you'd be glad that there is a lot to check out. If you are a fan of Japanese media, then you need to check out Bakuman. A tale of two middle school friends striving to become professional mangaka, Bakuman showcases what makes a manga good and features a look into how the lifestyles are behind some of our favorite stories, as well as an introspective look into the industry and how specifically Shonen Jump works as a whole. Mix in a bit of romance, a bit of competition, a coming-of-age story, and you get a really well-written 75-episode anime that is just as coherent as it is inspiring and educational. I personally loved learning about what makes a manga successful according to the author, who happened to write Death Note as well, and this was also my very first deep dive into learning how the industry works. So there you have it, 10 longer anime that you should give a shot if your schedule has freed up and you're looking to get entranced into a new world. Like I've stated in the beginning of the video, please do let me know if there are any underrated long-running anime you'd recommend, as the chances I've seen them are very low, and I would love to check them out. Subscribe please, thank you, see ya!